had a lovely trip down to Tanzania. We took, they call it Tanzania here, but Tanzania. I don't know, it depends who you talk to about Tanzania. We went down to Musoma. If you look on the map, you can see Musoma there on Lake Victoria. So we drove down on one day, on a Wednesday. It's about 12-hour drive. So we drove down, and got in, sort of unwittingly, like everywhere you go, you can pretty well negotiate with stuff as far as what your costs are, eh? And when I got to the border, I just for kicks, I said to the fellow, he right away, it was 4 of us going in, and $50 American each. They charge the same, I guess, as what Canadians would charge Tanzanians when they enter into our country. Eh? So $50 US, supposedly to get a visa to enter the country. We were only going to go in for 2 days. So we were going to go in and stay Thursday and come back on Friday. Really only a day and a half in the country. So I said, well, boy, that's very, very expensive. I said, you'd think you'd want to deal with us a little bit more reasonably than that. I said, we're not staying forever. We're just going to stay. And this fellow here is going to be a student. He's going to have to get a student visa for 3 months. But we're just going in for a couple of days. We'll be back Friday. I said, he said, well, it's $50 each, is what it is. I said, well, would you consider 100? Would you take 100? And then, unwittingly, like I don't even know, I wasn't intending to bribe him, but that's exactly what had happened. Eh? That he said, well, for me and for you, eh? But, oh yeah, well, so he takes it, and I didn't think anything too much of it because he stamped our passports, eh? Like he stamped them, and I said, well, if he's going to stamp the passport, he has to somehow account for this. But then, sure enough, we all got in. So instead of $200 American, we spent 100. Eh? And but when we got there, they started talking about, did you have any trouble at the border? With the other priests that were down there. We stayed with the Claration Fathers from India. They welcomed us very well. It was nice. But he said, do you have any trouble? I said, no. In fact, I said, this is what happened. I said, can't you just, anything goes, even at the border, He said, well, how did he stamp it? And he says, I imagine he just stamped it VIP on the thing, eh? And so sure enough, we look at the thing, and it's just, he says, if you didn't put the full-size stamp that almost covers a full page, if you just put the small stamp on, he can do that, and then he doesn't have to write out receipts, eh? Because he puts on VIP, that they were, very important persons, eh? So they got in somehow or other without paying the thing. So he walked home with $100 American, say this for at the border. We got in for half price, and he walks away with a month's wages for one group going in, eh? Oh my, it's amazing. You learn things all the time, eh? But I was saying, well, God, anything goes. You can bargain for anything, even with immigration officers, eh? So that's quite the deal.